Good morning, dear children. Let us continue the lesson Motion in a Plane. Okay, and last class we have discussed about the addition of vectors, where we have learned the three methods by which how we can add two vectors. The first is, suppose if the two vectors are acting in the same direction, then how we can add. Then if the two vectors are acting in opposite direction, then how we can add these two vectors. Also we have learned, suppose if the two vectors are inclined to some angle, then how we can add the two vectors. Where we used the triangle of vector addition and the parallelogram law of vector addition. Okay, in last class we have discussed the analytical treatment of the triangle of vector addition. Okay, and using that method we have calculated the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector, isn't it? And today's class we are going to discuss about the analytical treatment of parallelogram law of vector addition. And using this method, here also we can find the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector. Then let's see how we can find the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector by the analytical treatment of this parallelogram law of vector addition. Here we have the two vectors A and B that are represented in both magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides OP and OQ of the parallelogram OPSQ. Okay, here we have two vectors A and B. They are represented both in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides OP and OQ of the parallelogram OPSQ. And here the two vectors are inclined to some angle theta. Okay, here the angle between these two vectors A and B are represented by theta. Then we have the the resultant of these two vectors A and B, that is represented by the diagonal of this parallelogram. So the diagonal is actually OS. So OS can be written as OP plus OQ. OS can be written as OP plus OQ. Then what is OS actually here? The resultant vector R. So the vector R, that is equal to, instead of OP actually it is vector A, and instead of OQ actually it is vector B. So we can write vector R is equal to, the resultant vector is equal to vector A plus vector B. Vector A plus vector B. Listen to it. Then here angle SPN. Angle SPN. Okay, that is equal to angle QOP. QOP. Okay, angle SPN is equal to angle QOP. That is actually equal to theta. Okay, and here OP side that represent the vector A. OP is equal to A. Then PS, actually PS is equal to OQ. Okay, parallel sides of parallelogram, opposite sides of parallelogram, they are equal. So PS is equal to OQ is equal to actually B. Then OS, that is represented as R. Okay, then all these things actually we have to write from the diagram, isn't it? Then by considering the right angle triangle SNP, actually I draw separately that triangle SNP. Okay, triangle SNP. Using this triangle, actually this triangle is I draw here. Okay, SNP. Then what is sine theta? You can write using this right angle triangle. We can write the sine theta. What is sine theta? Actually, opposite side divided by hypotenuse. Opposite side divided by hypotenuse. Actually here theta, opposite side is Sn, then hypotenuse PS. So we can write sine theta equal to Sn by PS. Okay, sine theta equal to Sn divided by PS. From this Sn equal to, cross multiplying, PS sine theta. Sn is equal to PS sine theta. Then what is actually PS? Actually PS is B. So B sine theta. That's we got Sn as B sine theta. Sn as B sine theta. Next we can write cos theta. Okay, cos theta as actually adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So cos theta can be written as Pn by PS. Okay, cos theta can be written as Pn divided by Ps. Okay, then here Pn is equal to Ps cos theta. Pn is equal to what? Ps cos theta. Okay, then instead of Ps, what is Ps actually? B. So instead of Pn, we can write B cos theta. Instead of Pn, we can write B cos theta. Listen it. And here, how you get this triangle actually SNP? Here we extend the line OP. Here we extend the line OP and draw the perpendicular SN. Okay, towards that extended line. Okay, draw perpendicular SN towards OP extended or OP produced. Okay, that is why we got the triangle SNP. Okay, we have to draw a perpendicular from S towards N. That is why we got the triangle SNP. Okay, so we got the value of the sides SN and also PN. Listen it. Next we consider the triangle right angle triangle ONS. ONS. This is the big triangle. Okay. Here we considering the right angle triangle ONS. Here we have to apply the Pythagoras theorem. Here also we have to apply what? Pythagoras theorem to the right angle triangle ONS. You know what is Pythagoras theorem? Hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus altitude square. Here the hypotenuse is OS. So OS square is equal to base square is ON square. Then altitude square is SN square. So we can write OS square equal to ON square plus SN square. Then what is actually ON? This ON can be written as OP plus PN. Okay, ON that is equal to OP plus PN. So we can write OP plus PN the whole square plus SN square. Listen it. Then for OS, actually what is OS? OS is actually R, the resultant vector. So R square is equal to what is ON? What is ON actually? ON is equal to ON not OP. OP is equal to actually A. OP is equal to A. So OP instead of OP we can write A plus what is PN? PN we know PN B cos theta. So A plus B cos theta the whole square plus SN square. What is SN? B sin theta. So B sin theta the whole square. Then we can expand it. A plus B the whole square. Like that we can expand A square plus B square cos square theta plus 2AB cos theta plus B square sin square theta. Okay. So A square plus here cos square theta. Sorry, here B, when we consider B square cos square theta plus B square sin square theta, B square as common, then sin square theta plus cos square theta plus 2AB cos theta. So R square equal to A square plus sin square theta plus cos square theta actually 1. So B square plus 2AB cos theta. So the resultant vector R is equal to square root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Actually this is the magnitude of the resultant vector. R is equal to root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Okay. That is about the magnitude of the resultant vector. Next we can find the direction of the resultant vector R. Okay. So suppose if the resultant vector R makes an angle beta in the direction of A, with the direction of what? Vector A. If the resultant vector R makes an angle beta with the direction of the vector A, then by considering the right angle triangle ONS, we can write tan beta. We can write what? Tan beta. Tan beta is equal to opposite side SN divided by adjacent side ON. Okay, SN divided by ON. Tan beta is equal to opposite side is SN that divided by the adjacent side ON. But ON can be written as OP plus PN. ON can be written as OP plus PN. So we'll get SN divided by OP plus PN. Then you know the value of SN. SN is actually B sin theta. SN is actually B sin theta divided by what is OP actually? OP is A. So A plus instead of PN we can write B cos theta. So we'll get the direction tan theta as b sin theta divided by a plus b cos theta. The direction tan beta is equal to b sin theta divided by a plus b cos theta. Listen to it. That is about the analytical treatment of parallelogram law of vector addition. Next, about the properties of vector addition. What are the important properties of vector addition? And the first is the vector addition is commutative. Okay, the vector addition is commutative. All these things actually I have learned in maths. Okay, the vector addition is commutative. Suppose we have two vectors A and B, then vector A plus vector B, that is equal to vector B plus vector A. Okay, suppose we have two vectors A and B, then according to this commutative law we can write vector A plus vector B is equal to vector B plus vector A. Okay, that is the commutative property. The next is the vector addition is associative. Vector addition is associative. Okay, that is vector A plus B plus C, that is equal to vector A plus vector B plus C. Suppose we have three vectors A, B and C, then first we can add B plus C. Then after that we can add that thing to A. So we got a vector here. Next we can add A and B. After that we can add that thing to vector C. These two are actually equal. Okay, that is vector addition is associative. That is A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. Listen to it. Next, it is distributive over addition. Okay, vector addition is actually distributive. That is m into A plus B is equal to, suppose we have a number here. Suppose if it is 2, then 2 into A plus B, that is equal to, we can write 2A plus 2B. That is actually this distributive over addition. So we can write here m into A plus B is equal to MA plus MB. Okay, m into vector A plus B is equal to what? M into A plus M into B. That is vector addition is distributive. Okay, this distributive over addition. M into A plus B is equal to MA plus MB. Okay, you just remember all these properties. There is no need of any proof for these properties. Okay, that is about the properties of vector addition. Vector addition is commutative and it is associative and it is distributive over addition. Next, about the subtraction of vectors. Subtraction of vectors. How we can subtract two vectors? Suppose we have two vectors A and B. Suppose we have two vectors A and B, then in order to subtract one vector from another, we have to take the negative of the second vector and add it to the first. Okay, that is vector A minus vector B is equal to, then vector A plus negative of vector B. Negative of vector B. Okay. Suppose we have two vectors A and B, then how we can subtract these two vectors? This can be represented as vector A minus vector B, that is equal to vector A plus minus vector B. So we have to take the negative of the second vector and add it to the first. Okay, in order to subtract one vector from another, take the negative of the second vector and add it to the first vector. Okay, suppose we have two numbers. Listen here. Here it is 2 and 3. Okay, then we can suppose it is 3 and 2. Okay, then how we can subtract these two? Actually, it gives what? 3 minus 2, that is 1. In this way, how we can write this one? 3 plus minus 2. That is, again we will get 1. Okay, so in order to subtract one vector from another, we have to take the negative of the second vector and add it to the first. Okay, that is about the subtraction of vectors. The next is the resolution of a vector along two given directions. Okay, the resolution of a vector along two given directions. Suppose if we have a vector R, and if we wish to resolve the vector R along the direction of two coplanar non-parallel vectors A and B. Okay, are along the direction of two coplanar non-parallel vectors A and B. Suppose if we wish to resolve the vector R along the direction of R, OQ represents the vector R. Through O and Q, we can draw lines parallel to A and B. Okay, and through O we can draw a line actually which is parallel to A. Okay, that is, in order to resolve R, Q, we have to draw another line which is parallel to the vector B. These two lines meet at the point P. Then by using triangle of vector addition, we can write OQ. OQ is equal. We can write OQ is equal to OP plus PQ. This is by using the triangle of vector addition. And here actually OP actually parallel to A. Listen to it. OP is actually parallel to A. So OP can be written as OP is equal to lambda into A. Okay, OP can be written as lambda into A. Similarly, we can write PQ. PQ actually parallel to B. So we can write PQ is equal to mu B, and mu actually this represents a scalar. Okay, the mu and lambda, that represents what? Scalars. Okay, here as OP parallel to OP, that is parallel to A. So we can write OP as lambda into A. Also PQ, that is parallel to B. So we can write PQ is equal to mu B, where lambda and mu are actually scalars. So we can write OQ. OQ can be written as, instead of OQ we can write R. So R can be written as R is equal to OP. Then instead of OP we can write lambda A, plus instead of PQ we can write mu B. Okay, so R can be written as lambda A plus mu B. Okay, R can be written as lambda A plus what? Mu B. Actually we are in the direction of A. Okay, actually this lambda A, that represents the component of vector R in the direction of A, and mu B, that represents the component of R in the here we resolved the vector R in two directions. Okay, the lambda A is the component of R in the direction of A, and mu B, that represents the component of R in the direction of vector B. So we can generally written as the resultant vector R, that is equal to the component of A in the A plus the component of R in the direction of B. Okay, from this we can a resolution. Okay, then what do you mean by resolution of a vector? Actually, it is the process of splitting of a vector. Actually, it is the process of splitting of a vector in two or more directions. Okay, the process of splitting of a vector into two or more directions in such a way that their combined effect is same of these two vectors is same as that of the given vector. That is actually called the resolution of vector. Listen it. The resolution of a vector means the process of splitting of a vector two or more directions in such a way that their combined effect is same as that of the given vector. Okay, actually what is the combined effect to this vector R, which is same as that of the given vector R. Okay, and when we a vector, we got another vectors, and that vectors is actually called components. The vector is resolved, that is called components of the vector. Okay, that is after resolution we got two vectors. That vectors are actually called the components of the vector. the vectors into which the given vector is resolved. The vectors into which the given vector is resolved. That is called the components of the vector R. Because in this direction of the vectors A and B, we resolved the vector R. So these are called the component of vectors. Okay, and here suppose if we wish to resolve the vector R in the direction of two coplanar non-parallel vectors A and B. Okay, and here for that we consider OQ. OQ represents the vector R. Then in order to resolve the vector R, we draw two lines from O and Q. From O, we draw a line which is parallel to A, and through Q, we draw these two lines in such a way that they have to meet, that is equal to OK. Also PQ, that is parallel to B. So we can write PQ as mu B. Actually here lambda and mu are scalars. Then OQ is R. Actually instead of OP we can write lambda A. Then instead of PQ we can write mu B. So R is equal to lambda A plus mu B. And here lambda A, that represents the component of A, component of R in the direction of A, and mu B represents the component of R in the direction of B vector. Okay, so what is the resolution of a vector? Actually, this is the process of splitting of a vector into two or more vectors in such a way that their combined effect is same as that of the given vector. Okay, then what is components of vector? Actually, the vectors into which the given vector is splitted. Next, about the orthogonal triad of unity vectors. Orthogonal triad of unity vectors. Okay, unity vector, that thing you know. What is unity vector? A vector whose magnitude is unity. That is called what? Unity vector. Orthogonal means actually they are perpendicular. Okay, triad means three. So we have three unity vectors which are mutually perpendicular to each other. We have three unity vectors which are mutually perpendicular to each other. That is called the orthogonal triad of unit vectors. Here actually we have three axes, x, y and z axis. Okay, that is in order to represent the positive directions of x, y and z, in order to represent the positive directions of x, y and z, we are using the unity vectors I, j and k. In order to represent the positive directions of x, y and z, we are using the unity vectors I, j and k. Okay, they are collectively known as what? Orthogonal triad of unity vectors. Okay, that is in order to represent the positive directions of x, y and z, we are using the unity vectors I, j and k. That means what? In order to represent the positive direction of x, we use the unit vector I. To represent the positive direction of y-axis, we are using the unit vector j. Then in order to represent the z direction, we are using the unit vector k. They are actively known as, actually these two are mutually perpendicular. Okay, these two unit vectors are mutually perpendicular. So they are collectively known as what? Orthogonal triad of unity vectors. And here mod I is equal to modulus of j is equal to modulus of k equal to 1. Because being unity vectors, their magnitude is actually 1. Okay, that is actually the orthogonal triad of unity vectors. That is in order to represent the positive directions of x, y and z axis, we are using three unity vectors I, j and k. They are actually mutually perpendicular to each other. Such vectors are called the orthogonal triad of unity vectors. Next is the rectangular components of a vector in a plane. Rectangular components of a vector in a plane. We have already learned the resolution of a vector in two directions. The next, how we can resolve a vector in two mutually perpendicular directions. Okay, suppose when we resolve a vector in two mutually perpendicular directions, then we got two vectors. and that vectors are called the rectangular components. That vectors are called the rectangular components. Suppose when we resolve a vector into two mutually perpendicular directions, then we obtain other two vectors, and these vectors are called rectangular components. Okay, that is, suppose when we resolve a given vector in two mutually perpendicular directions, then the components obtained are called rectangular components. Let's see how we can resolve a vector in two mutually perpendicular directions. Okay, here we are considering a vector A in the xy plane. Okay, we are considering the given vector is actually the vector A, which is in the xy plane. Okay, and here from the head of P, draw PM. Okay, draw PM perpendicular to OX. Draw PM perpendicular to OX. Then draw PN perpendicular to OY. Draw PN perpendicular to what? OY. Okay, from the head of P, draw PM perpendicular to OX and draw PN perpendicular to OY. Then by parallelogram law of vector addition, we can write OP as, or we can write OP, it is OM plus ON. Okay, from parallelogram law of vector addition, we can write OP as OM plus ON. Or we can write OP actually represents vector A. A is equal to this OM that represents vector AX, and ON that represents vector AY. So we got A is equal to AX plus AY. Okay, and here AX that represents the horizontal component of A or X component of A. Actually this is the horizontal component. Okay, here when we resolve the vector A in two mutually perpendicular directions, we got the vectors AX and AY. Here AX is called the horizontal component of A or the X component of A, and AY is called the vertical component of A or the Y component of A. Listen it. Here AX is called the horizontal component or X component of A, then AY is called the vertical component or the Y component of A. Listen it. And also we can write this AX. AX can be written as AX into I cap, and also AY can be written as AY into J cap. This thing we already learned. Okay, in the topic unit vector, I think. That is, any vector can be represented as its scalar magnitude times the into the unit vector. Okay, any vector can be written as unit vector into its scalar magnitude. So AX can be written as AX into I cap, and the AY can be written as AY into J cap. So we can write this as A is equal to AX I cap plus AY J cap. A can be written as AX I cap into AY J cap. Actually this is the equation for a vector A in terms of its rectangular components. Actually this equation represents the rectangular components of the vector A. A is equal to AXI plus AYJ. The vector A is equal to AXI plus AYJ. This equation actually represents the rectangular components of vector A. Okay. Have you got it? Here the resultant vector A, which makes an angle theta along the x direction. So from this we can write x equal to A cos theta. We can write x as A cos theta and AY as A sin theta. Listen it. X equal to A cos theta and AY is equal to A sin theta. And here AX, from this triangle we can write what? Cos theta. How we can write cos theta? Cos theta is actually, cos theta is equal to AX by A. From this, Ax can be written as A cos theta. Similarly, what is sin theta actually? Sin theta is equal to Ay by A. Then Ay can be written as A sin theta. Okay. So we can write Ax equal to A cos theta and Ay equal to A sin theta. Ay equal to A sin theta. Then we can squaring and adding these two. So Ax square plus Ay square is equal to, actually here A square cos square theta plus A square sin square theta. A square is common. Then sin square theta plus cos square theta is actually 1. So we can write A square. Okay, so we got A square equal to Ax square plus Ay square. A square equal to Ax square plus Ay square. From this, A is equal to square root of what? A square plus Ay square. This is the magnitude of the resultant vector A. A is equal to square root of Ax square plus Ay square. Okay, A is equal to square root of Ax square plus Ay square. Also we can write tan theta. What is tan theta actually? Tan theta is equal to Ay by Ax. Tan theta is equal to Ay by Ax. Tan theta is equal to Ay divided by Ax. Okay, that is actually the rectangular components. Okay, here we are considering a vector A in the xy plane. Okay, and from the head of OP we can draw perpendicular PM perpendicular to OX and PN perpendicular to OY. Then by parallelogram law of vector addition we can write OP is equal to OM plus ON. Then instead of OP we can write A. Then instead of OM we can write AX. Then ON we can write AY. So we get A equal to AXI plus AY, AX plus AY. And here AX represents the horizontal or the cos component of what? A. Okay, X component of A, where X represents the horizontal or the X component of vector A, and the AY represents the vertical or the Y component of A. Suppose if Ax and Ay represents the scalar magnitudes, then we can write vector Ax as Ax into I and Ay as Ayj. Then substitute here, vector A is equal to Axi plus Ayj. Actually this represents the equation of a vector A in terms of its rectangular components. Okay, also from the diagram, from this triangle OPM we can write X as A cos theta and the Ay as A sin theta. Okay, then squaring and adding A square plus Ay square equal to A square cos square theta plus A square sin square theta. Here A square is common, so A square into cos square theta plus sin square theta, that is 1. So we will get A square as A square plus Ay square. From that, A is equal to square root of Ax square plus Ay square. Okay, that is actually its magnitude. Then from this we can write tan theta. Okay, from this triangle OPM we can write the tan theta as Ay divided by Ax. That will give the direction of the resultant vector. Tan theta is equal to Ay by Ax. Isn't it? That is about the rectangular components of a vector in a plane. Okay children, in today's class we have discussed the analytical treatment of parallelogram law of vector addition, where we have found out the magnitude of the resultant vector R as root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, and also we found out the direction also, and also we came to the resolution of a vector. What do you mean by resolution of a vector actually? It is the process of splitting of a vector in two or more directions in such a way that their combined effect is same as that of the given vector. Okay, and the vectors into which the given vector is splitted are actually called the components of vector. Okay, the next came orthogonal triad of unity vectors. What are orthogonal triad of unity vectors? That is, in order to represent the positive directions of x, y and z axis, we are using unity vectors. Okay, actually these unity vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other, so they are called the orthogonal triad of unity vectors. Next we came to rectangular components of a vector in a plane. Then what do you mean by rectangular components? The two mutually perpendicular vectors. A given vector can be splitted along two mutually perpendicular directions. The vectors thus obtained are called actually the rectangular components. Isn't it? Okay children, study well. That is the end of today's class. Thank you children.